Sit down, sit down. Don't stand up in a side-by-side. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays, but Botany doesn't. Again, today, we're in beautiful West Texas, and we're going to check out the Spirit Eye Cave, which was inhabited by indigenous North Americans for upwards of 13,000 years, and giant Shasta ground sloths for about 20,000 years before that. Sadly, this cave was badly looted in the 1950s, but there's still a lot of good stuff to see here, archaeologically speaking. Let's go check it out. Music's a little too intense. Anyway, as you can see, beautiful landscape. It's almost entirely limestone. The limestone reacts with acidic rainwater, weathers pretty easily, and thus why we have a cave system here in the first place. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, so we had to stop and take a picture of this hibiscus coulter. I get some nice money shots. This is a pretty narrow range hibiscus. Only grows in the Chihuahua Desert, the lower Chihuahua Desert, comprising I believe New Mexico, Texas, maybe a little bit of Arizona and northern Mexico. And it's a limestone endemic. As you can see, we are on the Cretaceous limestone soils. Right here you get the lechuguilla, good indicator plant. And look at those leaves. Look at those heavily reduced dentate leaves. Look at all the goddamn trichomes on that too. And of course you got that epicalyx, good marker for the genus hibiscus right there. See all those narrow bracts surrounding that immature bud. And then, of course, you got those red stigma lobes right in the receiver pollen. That's the part of the gynoecium, and you got all those yellow anthers in there. God, what an incredible plant. How do you get a fucking hibiscus in 110-degree heat growing out of bare rock? This is my first time riding in a side-by-side. It's also the first time I've seen one without a Trump flag and a 400-pound American in it. How about that? Okay, here we are in the limestone. We're at a pictograph site. We're with Brian Schroeder for the center from the Center for Big Bench Studies. Brian, you want to show us what's going on over here?
Yeah, there's a pictograph panel over here. Right here.
Right next to the Tacoma stands. Okay, so what? You had some little app on your phone you were using to show us. Do you still have that?
Yeah.
So you just take a photo and then...
It just...
What is it? Oh, okay. So it kind of highlights.
Yeah, it just brings out the color.
Do we have an estimated age on this?
No, I don't know how old this guy is. I mean, we could potentially directly date it if there's organic binder in the pigment. You can date it. But this one, we haven't done it. It's really expensive to date pictographs, and if you're going to do it, you want one that's like, if you see a figure that's, seen at a ton of sites, the idea is if you date that one, you are potentially dating all of them.
Because maybe it's the same guy, or at least the same generation, or it's
same cultural thought.
Same cultural, exactly.
So this one's pretty abstract, so this, I don't know, this one wouldn't be that good to date. So.
And then you mentioned something about there being a midden down there.
Yeah,
could you?
Dochi's getting pretty close to it. You should see two mortar holes, and off to your right. So this is he's down on right. Should be right. Yeah. There's a annular. So people use these earth ovens, and as they keep using them over and over and over and over again, this burned rock just accumulates and keeps accumulating. And so what you're looking at is. I don't know. I don't have a good time, but you're looking at least 1,000 years of people baking Desalarian and agave lechuguilla.
Okay, and it's not necessarily all like people were camped here the whole time. It just maybe they were moving around.
They're probably not even camped here. They're like, I don't know. You literally set ovens and you forget them because it takes 48 hours to convert the saponins into sugar. So what you're looking at is probably somewhere on the landscape where you have all the rock, the woods in the place. You bring the sotal or hearts or the lechuguilla hearts to it, even yucca, even the yucca, and you just roast it for 48 hours.
Just all these monocots just storing sugar, accumulating
Right.
sugar over however many decades, and then
You cook them.
right, and then these these humans come by and cook them in a massive earthen oven, then move on, maybe come back a couple years
They
later.
probably go camp somewhere else, and when after 2 days they come and grab it, and then they move off, and they bring them. They pound those hearts into cakes, and that's where Xochitl at mortar holes right there. There's 2 mortar holes where they're probably processing the stuff, and then they move on.
No idea on the exact age of these though.
This one's probably not that old. This one, everything we found off of it shows there's probably about 1,000 years of use there, and it's probably like the last 2,000 years.
Got taken out by that blind prickly pear up there.
Yeah,
I'll punch a roof of it with it. They just got the glockage. There's no spines, but the glockage are almost worse. You gotta watch out. Look at this goddamn Manzilia. That's a nice one. Look at the white stems. And then there's those dentate leaf margins. And of course, being part of the Velcro leaf family, you have those fucking barbed trichomes on everything except the petals. You get dozens of stamens in there. Look at it. Look at that. What's the black stain on these morteros from? Is that from, was there stuff being lit on fire here? Or is that just plant exited maybe?
Yeah, it's plant stuff, yeah.
And yeah, you get chippings everywhere. Old workings.
Yep.
Some sort of scraper tool.
Round rock.
Oh,
I don't know what they're doing with those, but I wrote a paper on it, and I don't have a very definitive answer.
God damn, how'd they do that? Maybe they got a tumbler. Yeah, this thing, so from whatever formation this was, it was brought here.
Wow.
Just chippings everywhere. It's crazy. That's what I love thinking about. How, people hanging out here, lurking here, doing their thing, 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Before there was a Walmart anywhere, within a 1,000-mile radius. Isn't that a nice thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on now? What is this?
This is a flake, but this is what we call, the cortical flake. So what they're doing is they found a cobble, and they want to get to the interior of the stone. So when they get to the interior of the stone, that's what they're going to start making into stuff. What happened here is this is the platform right here. So this was on a big stone like this, and they smacked it with another rock. And we know they smacked it with another rock because you get this inside. This is called an aurelian scar, and they hit it so hard that it sent energy waves down this side and this side, and it basically split it both ways. Interior. These aurelian scars only happen when you're smashing rock with rock. And they're just wailing on this.
And we should mention this is, of course, high silica rock. It looks like chert, right?
This is a volcanic. This is some kind of, it's got phenocrysts in it.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's some kind of volcanic out here. Exactly what it is, andesite, something like that. But that's the first stage in the process. So if they were really lithic poor, if they were really stone poor, they would have turned this into something. But they're like 0% worried about it, so they made some kind of expedient tool. They cut with it for a little and they threw it down, and they did exactly what they did, because this edge, when it comes off of the stone, is sharp, super sharp. It's just not durable. So
And they were trying to get to the.
they could get into they were probably getting into the interior. You get a byproduct, you get a knife. You basically get a knife you can use for about a half an hour, so you can do a task, do that, and then you can keep moving on.
Oh, what do we got here? Look at this. This is Sagittaria longiloba, a rather large population of it growing in this body of stagnant water with tons of mosquitoes. Plants are monoecious, so the flowers are unisexual. See, they got the 3 petals. Elismataceae is the family here, or a somewhat basal monocot family. There's the male flowers, and there's the ovaries. Okay, so Brian, this is all limestone here, it looks like, but then I look on the ground, and we got igneous, we got volcanic. You can see the phenocrysts on that darker rock. What's going? And the ground is black too. What's going on?
This entire area has been, it's been occupied by humans so long that they've made a soil. We call this an anthrosol. So this is jet black because of all the fires they've had and all the organics that have broken down over time. So they've essentially created what looks like a pedogenic soil, and all of this rock on the surface is burned. It's all from They're earth ovens.
And the volcanics they brought in.
All of it. They brought in all of this stuff, all this limestone stuff. It's all big.
I guess volcanic holds heat better than limestone?
Yeah. Nobody's actually done any studies with it. That's crazy, but I mean, I would assume that it does. I think that that's a pretty safe assumption.
So they're cooking stones, basically.
Yeah, they're basically, yes, they're the heating elements for ovens.
Okay, so here we're at the entrance to the cave. Brian, what's going on here?
This is the upper entrance for Spirit Eye Cave. We'll go up there and look around, but this is a huge cave system that it's been occupied by humans for at least 5,000 years and maybe longer.
And before the humans, you had some Shasta ground sloths in here?
We had Shasta ground sloths for 18,000 years well, actually longer than that. It's now like 25,000 years. From 39,000 years ago to 13,000 years ago, Nothotherapsis shadensis called this place home, the Shasta ground sloth. And tortoises and extinct types of horses, other Pleistocene critters that we're gonna find. Oh, some kind of Pleistocene hummingbird too.
What? So all this talus is all from people?
Yeah. Everything you're looking at is from humans.
It looks like a tailing pile.
Right.
Unfortunately,
it's all from people digging it.
So this place got looted pretty badly when? In the 50s? When?
From 1940 all the way until 2002.
And it was privately owned, and they were just letting people pay to dig, or what?
Yep. Everybody could come and pay to dig. Some people poached it. Some people came here with the landowner's permission. I mean, if you're out here, it's pretty hard to get caught. So. And
there were people looting bodies too, like
Yeah.
mummified human remains.
Yes, 4 of them that I know of. 3 of them that I know of.
And have they been recovered?
2 have.
2 have been recovered. 2 are still in private hands. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
That's the smell of bat piss over there.
Oh.
Look at that monster. Look at that guy. What are you doing?
Are you hanging that up?
Look at this fucking massive. Oh my God. That'll sting you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the fragrance de bat urine and guano, but that's fine. I don't mind. It kind of smells nice. Brian, what's going on here? So this is where people have been excavating.
Yeah, these are my excavations. These are this is what we originally thought was intact. It actually collapsed fairly recently, and we went back and got everything. All of these different layers in it are actually from people looting. Those are actually all screen deposits from people screening inside the cave.
So they would come in here and they would just put soil, sift it through a screen, and then. You said there was some guy looking for gold, and he was complaining about all the textiles he was finding.
Yeah, he was finding a bunch of textiles in 1939.
And how old do you think those textiles presumably were? 1,000 years?
Oh, depending on what part of the cave he was digging in, they could be 5,000 years old.
Jesus.
Just depends.
Fucking simpleton.
This trench here was dug by us by hand, and everything is looted. Everything is looted except for, this is all looted fill, except for this right here. This is the original ground surface. That's the 500-year-old ground surface down there.
So that when the looters got here, this was the ground level?
That is yeah.
And so this was all stuff that they
This is all
excavated.
stuff that they've excavated and screened.
Look at this. Look at all that's all just charring from fires, huh?
No, this is all manganese.
That's manganese?
Yeah, it's manganese deposits.
Oh, okay. Precipitating out a
Yeah,
solution that
because
drips
you have-
off the rocks.
yeah, that's the lower entrance. They mined all that out. You can see where they dug.
Do we have any idea where the bodies were?
Yeah. 2 of them are right back here, probably right against his back right here. That's shaft A. We'll go in that. That goes way back. That's shaft B over here.
So wait, oh my God, that goes way back there.
That goes 150 feet. If you want to see where the sloths are, I'll show you where the sloths are at.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we looking at over here?
This is a test unit we dug in April, and we were looking for really anything. But we ended up finding a ground sloth maxilla right here. And the colleague I'm working with in Hot Springs, South Dakota has it and is analyzing it. And I think...
And they went extinct, what, 10,000, 13,000 years ago?
We found a lot of ground sloth dung right here.
It goes, I didn't even see that. It goes back.
Wow.
This is called the window. And that shaft you can actually walk in. That one's totally looted. But we found 31,000-year-old sloth dung in that one. And that one's the one that's got creosote in it.
So you carbon dated the shit and it was 31,000 years old.
Yeah, we've carbon dated like 40 pieces of shit out of here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Carbon dated a whole bunch of shit.
Those sloths will go down in history. They went down in history.
first
They're
one-
legends. That makes me happy thinking of like a sloth hanging out here taking a dump. They were big, huh? They were big bastards.
The Shasta is not as big as the Megalodonyx. The Shasta is about the size of a cow.
That's big.
So that's like a 1,200 pounder.
Megalodonyx is the size. It's 18 feet at the shoulder.
18 feet at the shoulder?
Yeah, those are big.
That's too big.
Yeah, and also the precipitate on the ceiling right here. That's rat piss.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. People pay for that. They got machines in Japan where you could put, $5 in and geez, that's all rat piss.
Yep.
I thought, what happened to the manganese? I thought it was manganese.
Well, and here I have a pack rat guy because we're going to do a whole bunch of environmental stuff. And he looked up there and said, "That's all pack rat piss,
There's
man."
fucking.
'Cause they
What
can-
are they doing
Wait,
in here, man?
they
What
can
are
run-
they?
they can
They're
run upside
doing
down.
filthy
They can
shit.
run upside down?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, they're having all kinds of weird golden shower parties and shit, orgies and fucking. Whoa, it goes way back there, huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I won't crawl all the way back there, but you're more than welcome to.
Nah,
if you
I'm
want.
all right. So, Brian, in this hole right here, you found a three-toed horse, some sort of a bird, a part of a tortoise shell, and a Shasta ground sloth jawbone, all in the same hole. I mean, all
Yeah.
extinct Pleistocene.
And a claw.
I kind of like how you're laying like that. It's like the Burt Reynolds on the. I'm gonna do that too. Wait, what's this thing right there?
That's corn husk and stalk.
That's a piece of corn.
Yeah, it's the stalk and
So like 2,000-year-old corn. 900 years maybe.
I don't know.
But old. But old.
Yes, definitely old. That I can say.
That thing over there, that's a flash bulb from the 60s from when the guys that wasn't the looters, was it?
Yeah. Oh no, that's the El Paso Archaeological Society.
Jesus Christ, that's just hanging out here like it was yesterday.
Yeah. There's another one on this side over here. It's not all undug, but there's portions of undug stuff. So just come swing around.
Wait, what is that though? What is it a bone from?
Some medium mammal. It's a juvenile, because this is a long bone. This is.
How old is it? It's not like from a goat or something that crawled in it?
I don't know. I mean, could be old. I don't know. Although I can tell you that it's not an old creature when it died. It's a juvenile.
So the looters never got this spot.
That's the only spot they didn't get.
You guys still gotta dig that. I
Yeah.
wonder what's down
They got a lot of it though.
there. Wait, I thought you said you didn't. Why are we going back here? I thought you said you didn't like these cramped spaces too much. Oh, shit, that's walls of piss. The name of a grindcore band. So this is the shit. This is the sloth. This is sloth shit.
That's 31,000-year-old sloth poop.
Just from the shape and the.
Yep.
And you can look at that and tell what species of plants they were eating.
Yeah, I mean you have to break it to the lab and break it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Sphaeralcia, maybe some creosote.
Juniper.
The plant community was probably a lot different. Yeah, there's probably a lot of juniper here.
Yeah.
Which there's not really any right now.
Right. This is all contained, so it's probably it's a much older pack rat midden that has very old sloth poop in it.
Have you guys found bits of juniper and other plants that don't grow anymore that
There.
is encased in the piss?
You can see all the plants in it and stuff.
Oh, that's another piece of the shit.
Yeah.
Nice. So those Shasta ground sloths were just hanging out in here doing nothing, being bums.
Yeah, they're just living.
Would you get a tattoo of a ground sloth smoking a bong on a couch? Would you do that? I'll do it if you do it. Yeah, you could see the fibers in there.
Mm-hmm.
They were eating everything. They were eating juniper. They were eating creosote. They must have had some incredible gut bacteria.
Mm.
This is all lithified pack rat piss.
Yeah, basically
and
stone.
Jesus Christ. But the piss is what holds it together. The piss is the key element here.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just
And
all kinds
time.
of plant material.
Piss
And
in time.
imagine if you could do that. You know? Your hoarders would have a paradise. It's bits like this. It's these little pack rat piss encrusted middens of old plant material that we find in caves throughout North American deserts and in other deserts that give us a clue as to what the plant communities might have looked like 10s or 20s or 30,000 years ago. And they give us an idea into how the climate has shifted and plant communities and plant distributions have changed. Brian, where does this go?
It goes back about another 100 feet, and then it opens up into a big room, and then it goes vertical. You can start, if you really wanted to, you could start climbing up a vertical shaft. It doesn't look like it opens, but I'm sure, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got
But
much
it gets
further.
there. You got to go through 120 feet of narrows before you get to the big room.
Right.
Come on.
Fuck, stay over there. Come on. I'm down with bats. I'm not trying to hurt you. We're cool. I got to worry about hantavirus. What'd you say, histoplasmosis?
Yep.
Instead of coccidiomycosis? Fuck. Doing lines. Brian, do you know the shelf life on any of these pathogenic bacterial spores that might be in the soil here? They're probably not that long lived, right?
I hope not.
A couple decades, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just hope they're not that long.
Just did a couple lines. Feel like I was huffing a paper bag full of Pleistocene mammal shit. Brian, you sequenced the DNA of one of the some of the human remains that were found here, and what did you find?
We found, well, I worked with a colleague at the University of Montana that sequenced it, and she found through sequencing it that the people that are in this cave are related to populations that are still alive in Marfa and Alpine Marathon. So we were able to create a link between essentially the past and through that work, we've been able to get them back to, some of them, back to the people they belong to.
But people are trying to. They're trying to do the right thing and take what was stolen and return it.
Right.
It's still incredible. I mean, how much was lost here?
I don't know. The other archaeologists that have seen this site, that's all they focused on. And I mean, this is a world-class site. I mean, it would have been, I have no idea what we could have learned, but it would have been amazing. But we can still learn quite a bit. And I try not to get focused on what we lost because there's still work to do here. But
the stuff that was taken, I mean, it was all legal because this is private land.
Yeah.
And it's still allowed. The landowner today, I mean, he's cool, but if he changed his mind, he could shut everything down and just start charging a fee to whoever wanted to come in here and dig.
Yep.
So these are all old metates. These are all old grinding stones. What is it? Oh, yeah, look at the pigment.
And this whole talus, all of this, looted.
This is all just looters
This
excavating.
is all from inside the cave. This is the fill.
Have you guys gone through this at all?
No, I would like to. I'd like to find where the ground surface is. I'd like to know how people actually got into this cave.
So these are just a fragment of what's left.
Yeah.
Basically, the looters took everything else.
That was part of the grave
I
bed?
I don't know that. I mean, I don't have any photos, but that's a really good looking metate. And they talked about how the metate was really well formed, and they didn't take it. So I don't know that it's that one, but that's They talked about it being complete, and they didn't take it. And that one's complete, and they didn't take it. So it's part of it.
So this was for kind of a flat surface to make cakes on, or
yeah, but they never used that one. They built that one, and they got it smooth, and then they never used it. That one is that one's prepped. It's ready to rock, and they never did anything.
God, it's so hard to be here and just think about what was lost, and also think about what life was like here 10,000 years ago. What were some of the stories of the people that lived here? What was daily life like for them? But then I always come back to, how the fuck did someone come here and just loot the shit out of it and not even want to return it later on? Nice Parthenium right there. Parthenium, and you got a Hackberry, you got a Celtis over there. God, how could you come here? You know, this was getting looted in the 50s. Textiles, baskets, stone tools, human remains, all just taken, you know, to be put in someone's living room. I think like Brian tracked a couple of these bodies down. You know, one lady had it in a glass case under her stairs. I mean, I can't, what is wrong with people? You know, if you had something like that, wouldn't you want to just put it in a museum or give it back to the living descendants of whose remains it was? I can't understand the mentality of people to just hoard stuff. You know, if I find a rare plant or something, I get seed of it. I don't want to grow it myself. I want to put it in a botanic garden. But I just to take and not give back. You know, Brian found some of these people, you know, they're like 80, who looted this place in the 50s, and, you know, asked them if they wanted to give it back, if they wanted to give it to the living descendants of the people that lived here thousands of years ago. And most of them have said no, they didn't want to. It's nuts. He was talking to one person, I guess, and he was like, oh, it's you know, valuable, as in it's valuable to science. And I said, well, if it's valuable, why don't we sell it? I just, the fucking mentality of human beings, man. Anyway, so these are all metates. You know, basically a flat surface for cooking, for mixing paint, whatever. And these are what was left behind. You know, there was probably 10 times this. There was basketry, there was textiles. I don't know, it's kind of breathtaking to be here, you know. Look at the tarantula hooks. Come on, buddy. I didn't do anything to you. See him in there. The tarantula hawks are hanging out. Anyway, so much to think about. What was life like here 10,000 years ago? What were they eating? How long did they live? How did they raise their kids? It's so fascinating. And so much of that story is lost because of human greed. You know, same old story. But there's still a lot here, and it's incredible that we can use DNA to find the living descendants and give some of these pieces back to their rightful heirs. And also learn a lot about early North American history, early North American human history from studying the human artifacts you find here. Anyway, I'm going to take off from this cave. The smell of pack rat piss has been nice, but I'm a little over it. Pack rat and bat piss. That's all I got. Hopefully you got something out of that. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Those are the most massive goddamn hackberries I've ever seen. Hard to believe that it's the same family as cannabis. Cannabaceae. Must have been a good rain here. Look at that. Holy shit. Solanum's all lit up. Senna. There's a Trixis. It's like Trixis californica. There's Bovardia. It's a member of the Rubiaceae, the coffee family. We go nice center with the porocytolanthus, legume family Fabaceae. As you can tell from those pinnate leaves, always got to look close at the anthers of center. See how they come to a little tip, and then they got a hole at them for the hole at the top for the buzz pollination. There's the ovary in the center, ovary in the style, just looking like a little yellow, immature little bean pod. Nice butylon. Look at that. Cotton family right there. This guy's built for the heat. Look at the trichomes on those leaves. They basically make it white, reflecting back the UV light, keeping the leaf temperature down. We got a species of, oh yeah, we get this nice piece of a rustic cabin. Looks maybe 150 years old. I guess the guy just put the roof back on last year. We'll check that out later. Got some nice nicotiana, a nicotine species. Very glandular, extremely glandular. The leaves smell very bad. Just very chemical from those secondary metabolites like nicotine in the leaves. Ugh, sticky leaves. Those sticky leaves and that nicotine got my hands smelling like hell now. What we got going on in here? We got the guy. Also got a little, little cottage court thing going on here. Maybe he's starting a, maybe he's doing his own little, YouTube channel with an Etsy shop. I don't know. Could be. I just, Marfa is close by. They do that over there, don't they? He got a little stove. Oh, there was that. Look at the butylon. Look, my guy just pulled a dead muskrat or something out the dam. It fell on the little drink over there. Look at the package on him. Holy shit. Now it's starting to smell, but I'm going to show you this croton real quick before we got to get out of here. See, there's that Bovardia again. Beautiful flowers. Coffee family again. Look at that. Hummingbird pollinated member of the coffee family. Here's that croton. Crotons are generally monoecious. Monoecious. So they got male and female flowers, separate unisexual flowers, but on the same plant. That's a male flower. And then over there, that's a female. As you can see from that swollen ovary, swollenovary.com. Look at the stigma up top, though. A six-lobed stigma, and then, of course, just the hairs and the trichomes all over the damn leaves. And, like many crotons, the leaves on this actually smell very pleasant, which is nice because I can smell that rotting marmot over there. No offense to him. No offense, he's got a big dang. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Shit, it's an Aristolochia. Oh, it's not in flower yet. Too bad, because the flowers on these... Oh, there's one about to go. What a fucking weird... The flowers on these are such bangers. All Aristolochia flowers. That's not open yet, though. Oh, here's one. Here's one. Oh, yeah. Trapping the fungus gnats inside. Trapping the fungus gnats inside that little Dutchman's pipe. And then you got this guy, a swallowtail caterpillar gnawing on that. Bioaccumulating. Oh, God, I can smell it. Fucking rotting marmot. Bioaccumulating that aristolochic acid, a toxic compound, and then he'll turn into a beautiful butterfly. And do you like it when I say that? He'll turn into a beautiful butterfly and fly away. Maybe I could do like a story time podcast. Would you listen to that? Could you go to sleep listening to me narrating to you? But it might get a little dark and fucked up at times, depending on whatever stories I try to tell. I'm maybe a little too real. I do have no filter like that. Maybe a little cynical at times. But it could be soothing too. And then he saw a crackhead taking a shit behind a dumpster after setting his mattress on fire. That might be one of the stories, but you don't mind, do you? It can still be soothing, okay? A little bit of reality never hurt anybody. There we go. That's all I got to go fix up. Don't do that. Don't eat the flower, man. Come on. That's not right. Don't do that. Why don't you eat the leaves? Why you got to do that? Don't do that. Don't eat the flower. Come on. I'm getting fucking nailed by mosquitoes. Come on, man. Don't do that. Why you got to do that? Why you doing it? Why you doing it? Don't do that.